Okay, I think that seems to be working. Great. Can everyone see my screen and see me and hear me? Amazing. Okay. Yeah. So let me go back to my slides. Cool. So I think the whole thing ended when I was asking about how many, how many of you have used ChatGPT? How many of you have used AI? So AI is now, and it's in our search engines, it's in our emails, it's everywhere. Let me just confirm that everyone can still hear me. Okay, and can see the slides. Okay, thank you very much. Because I can't see the Google Meet anymore. Okay, cool. Let me go on. Right. So, but here's the thing, right? How many of us are asking, where does AI actually run? It's not running on our phone or on our laptop. It's actually running somewhere, and that's really what we want to discuss about tonight. So let me give you some numbers to put this into perspective, right? So when OpenAI, the founder of ChatGPT, when they were training one of their models, which is GPT-4, it cost them over $100 million in cloud compute alone. What that means is that it cost them this amount of money just trying to run cloud compute at the back end for that model. That's not salaries, that's not their office, that's not their marketing. That's just the computing power to be able to train that model. And then the same thing for Meta Llama 3 model, which is, Facebook, Meta. Now, for them, it required them about 6.4 million GPU hours. And, they've been running that simultaneously for weeks. Now, this is just to tell you that once this model they are trained, they need to be deployed globally. They need to be available 24/7. They need to handle millions of requests per second. All this requires petabytes of data that need to be processed, that need to be stored, and that need to be served across data centers across the world. But here's the critical points, right? All of that, so the compute, the storage, the networking, the deployment, all of that is cloud infrastructure. It is cloud. So every single AI product that you've used, that you are using right now, is actually powered by cloud engineers that are working behind the scenes. And someone has to build and help to run all of this. And actually, that someone could be you. It could, right? So, and then let me try to reframe, how you actually think about AI, right? So when most of us, when we hear about AI, we think about data scientists, we think about machine learning models, we think about algorithms, and, if you're advanced, you think about neural networks, right? But AI is actually fundamentally an infrastructure problem. So on the left of the screen now, you see that you've got the compute side of things. So training AI models requires GPU clusters, require chips running on demand. For example, a single NVIDIA GPU. And by the way, GPU just means like graphic chips, right? It's inside your laptop, it's inside our phones, and so many things that we use. So one NVIDIA chip, can cost like about $7 per hour to run on AWS. And imagine when you need tens of thousands of them to run for weeks. Only a cloud platform can deliver that kind of elastic scale. And that's why actually NVIDIA is the most profitable company on earth. And they only achieved this within like 2 or 3 years. That is because infrastructure is the problem, is the demand. There's so many people that really want those chips, those GPUs to run. So, and then on the right, you have the data, the deployment side of things. So AI also needs petabytes of data pipelined, cleaned, and processed. And it needs to be deployed in multiple regions across the world so that a user here in London can get the same speed as a user in Lagos. And it also needs to auto-scale, elasticity, to be able to handle traffic spikes that people might have and 24/7 uptime, so that the service doesn't go down. And all of us, we don't go to our ChatGPT and be there, what's happening? ChatGPT is down. So all of these that I just explained to you, this is not data science problem. This is basically an infrastructure problem. And the people who solve infrastructure problems are actually cloud engineers, are the people that knows about cloud. So let me make this even more concrete for you, right? With examples that you already know. We've talked about ChatGPT. So every time you send a message, it's eating a massive GPU clusters in the cloud somewhere in the world. The response gets generated back to us, routed back to you through load balancers and high availability infrastructure. All of that is cloud. Then Netflix. You know how it always seems to know what you want to watch next. That's machine learning behind the scene. But the data pipelines that are feeding those models and real-time inference and all of that, that are serving recommendations to 250 million subscribers that Netflix has simultaneously at the same time, that's all running on cloud infrastructure as well. And then you have voice assistant like Siri, like Alexa, like Google Assistant and all of that. And then when you say, oh, hey, Alexa, what's the weather? Your voice gets sent to the cloud, hosted model somewhere, processed in real time, and then that response come back to you. All of this is cloud. So AI is not magic in the real sense. It runs on infrastructure, and infrastructure that real people, cloud engineers, are actually working on. Infrastructure that people that are called DevOps engineers, platform engineers, they are building and they are maintaining all of this every single day. So this is to tell you that demand is actually higher than supply in the AI world and also in the cloud world, because now you understand that cloud actually matters for AI. And then let me also show you why this actually matters for your career. So look at the two numbers on the screen right now. 317,000. That's how much cloud and DevOps jobs open up every year in the US alone. Every year. And that number continues to grow. And then 87%, that's the percentage of technology leaders who say that they struggle to find people with cloud skills. And nearly 9 out of 10 companies can't even hire fast enough, right? So there's a massive gap between how many cloud professionals the industry needs and how many people are actually available with the right skills. So that gap is your own opportunity. That gap can be the opportunity of someone that you know. And let me read the line at the bottom of this slide very well, because I think is the most important thing I'm going to say tonight. The people who power AI are not only data scientists, they are cloud engineers. So when companies say that they are investing in AI, what they're actually doing is spinning up cloud infrastructure at massive scale. And they need people to build it, they need people to secure it, they need people to scale it, they need DevOps engineers. AWS alone, you know, the company I work for, at least I know, they are spending about $200 billion just on AI infrastructure, just this year alone. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of demand there, and it's interesting because even for me, I studied economics. I didn't even do anything cloud related, right? But now I'm a solutions architect at AWS, and if I can make that transition, I promise you, you can absolutely do it as well. Cool. So now some of you might be thinking that should I learn cloud? Should I learn AI? And my answer is actually it's not an either or. The real power move is you combining both of them. So on the left here, cloud skills on their own, they are already incredibly valuable. So there's high demand across different industries. There's globally recognized credentials, you know, and about 62% of cloud roles, they offer remote work, so you can work remotely, which is very huge for a lot of people, right? I mean, you can work from anywhere in the world. But look at the right side. When you had AI knowledge on top of cloud skills, it means that people with cloud skills earn roughly, you know, 56% more than those, you know, without, right? And then, you know, ML ops, which is basically you deploying AI models to production and all of that, it has seen like a lot of growth. And so the most valuable combo in tech is having a cloud skills and AI knowledge. So it isn't really about, oh, I want to choose one part. It's about building cloud as your foundation and layering up AI expertise on top of it. And that combination, I tell you, my friends, is genuinely unstoppable. And I'm going to tell you a personal story. So beginning of the year, I was thinking, I need to build more hands-on with AI, right? Which I've been doing. And I went on LinkedIn just to search for people. So I just sent a message to a guy on LinkedIn. He works with NVIDIA, by the way. And then we had a chat, 30-minute chat. So this guy used to work at AWS, my company, right? And he was telling me that even though now he works with NVIDIA, but do you guys know that this guy, so he was saying that some people in his team, they actually don't have the cloud background that he has because he came from AWS and he knows about cloud. So every time they want to ask a question or a customer needs anything cloud related, they come to him just because he has that foundational. So he's basically leading the team because of that, because he had a foundational knowledge of cloud from AWS before he then joined an AI company. So I just thought to put that there. So what does this actually look like in practice? You might be asking, what are the roles? So let me walk you through 4 cloud roles that directly power AI. The first is cloud engineer. So a cloud engineer would keep the system running, scalable, and then they are also building the infrastructure that everything else sits on. So without them, there's really nothing. And then second is a DevOps engineer. And this is someone that will learn to ship code faster and safer. They are the ones that build things that are called CI/CD pipelines, the automation, the deployment systems. They allow like different teams to be able to move quickly so that, without breaking things, right? And then you have the machine learning operations and MLOps engineer. And this is the bridge between data science and production. They take AI models from maybe a Jupyter notebook and move them into real production environments where they serve millions of users. And their role is exploding in terms of demand right now. And then the fourth that I have here is cloud security engineer. And this is someone that helps to prevent data breaches, API exploits, because, AI system is handling a lot of sensitive data. So security is a priority in everything. So, but here is what I really wanted to hear about all of this, right? That none of these roles actually require a computer science degree. They require skills that you can learn starting from wherever you are right now. So and also, I mean, another big question I get asked, I mean, a lot of times, you can never imagine, is how do I actually get started? So let me give you a practical, and this is what I share with most of my mentees, right? Let me give you a practical step-by-step roadmap right now. Number one, you need to learn cloud fundamentals. Pick one platform. I'll recommend AWS because actually it's the most widely used globally. But Azure is also strong in enterprise. I mean, I started from Azure before I moved to AWS. So just pick one and go deep in it. Don't try to learn all 3 at once. And then number 2, you need to get certified. So get your first certification. AWS Cloud Practitioner is a great one. Azure AZ900, I think, is also a great one. So these are entry-level certifications that prove that you understand the basics fundamentals. And they are basically achievable, I tell people, in 1 week. If you are very serious and if you face it, you could really do that in 1 week. But I mean, give yourself some grace and do it in a few weeks, right? And these are like open doors to really understand, okay, what's happening in terms of cloud, what are the names of the services, what do they do, and all of that. And then the next thing I would say is that you need to learn Linux and networking. And this is the foundation that everything in cloud runs on. Things like command line, DNS, firewall, IP addressing, all these things. And you don't need to be an expert in them, but you need to have a general knowledge about them and be comfortable explaining them to anyone. Number 4, automation. And this is where you level up. So learn Git for version control. You need to learn Bash or Python for scripting just to have some programming knowledge. I mean, it is not deep programming knowledge, just a general knowledge of how these things work. And then things like Terraform for infrastructure as code. And this is what really will separate you from someone who uses the cloud and then someone who is engineering the cloud, if you get what I mean. And then number 5, which is very important, is you need to build real projects. deploy a web app, set up auto scaling, integrate an API, do something and build a portfolio for yourself on all of these things that you've actually created, because this is what employers actually to see, and put it on GitHub so that people can access it. And over here on the right are just like 3 pro tips that I want to repeat. So pick one platform and go deep, and then Action Lab, you know, doing hands-on projects beats theory all the time. So think about that and then build a portfolio of real projects for yourself, because that's how you actually stand out. And you don't have to learn all of this at once. So take it step by step, and each step will build on the last step for you. And so I'm about to round up. Now, I won't spend too long on this slide, right? Because I want to show you the 5 building blocks that make up the modern cloud system. So in the cloud platforms, you have AWS, Azure, and GCP. This is your foundation. These are the cloud providers. These are the guys that have data centers across the world, and people are accessing their services through the internet. Second is what we call containers. Containers, they are basically Docker and Kubernetes. Basically, this is how different modern applications that we use, that's how they get packaged and they get deployed. And then there's something else called infrastructure as code. Basically, this is how you automate. Imagine I build something and then I want to build something like that tomorrow, and I'm having to start again from scratch. So this is basically automation at scale to manage your infrastructure in the cloud. And the next is CI/CD. So this is how the code that you are writing will get tested and deployed automatically, moving down the pipelines. And there are different services that encompasses this, but I don't want to get too technical. And the last one is observability. And basically, you need to monitor what's happening. You need to see and know and be proactive when something goes wrong. That's what observability is all about. So if you're looking at this and thinking, okay, that's a lot, well, you're right, actually, it is. But remember, you build up piece by piece, because nobody learns all of this in 1 week. And structured programs like Cloud Boosters, 8-week curriculum, they are specifically designed to take you all of these things I've just said in 1 minute, step by step. Now, let's talk about what actually makes cloud career different from almost every other career path. Number one is the remote access. The fact that 62% of cloud roles, they offer remote. So wherever you are, you can actually work from anywhere in the world. Once you have your work laptop with you, you're good to go. And then second is cross industry. So right now, every single industry actually needs cloud infrastructure. Talk about healthcare, talk about finance, retail, entertainment, government. Everyone is migrating to the cloud. Everyone wants to, lower their costs. Everyone wants auto scaling. So this isn't a skill or an industry that locks you into one industry. Cloud opens every industry to you. And then the third one is career mobility. So certifications adds, a lot of things to your salary. I have it up there, $15,000 to your salary or more. And then when you add AI skills, then your premium go up. So there's a lot of mobility and upside to cloud careers, which is going faster than ever before. And then in terms of pay, if we want to put some real numbers to this, at the entry level, and I'm talking about someone that is just getting started and maybe has their first certification, 0 or 2 years experience, you're looking at 90 to 110K in the US, to be clear, for an entry level role, and then for a mid level role, and then for a senior level role. So these are US market figures, just to be clear. But I think here is what matters in this room, right? That regardless where you are based, remember that 62% statistics that I quoted. The remote nature of cloud means that you can access opportunities from anywhere in the world. A company in New York or in London might not really care where you sit in the world or if you're with them, as long as you can build and manage cloud infrastructure for them. So this is just like a career. It's very high value, I will call it global accessible opportunity and career. And the entry point is actually closer to you than you might think. So let me leave you with this as I close. AI is not replacing cloud engineers. AI is creating more demand for them. So, and every AI model that gets trained needs the cloud. Every AI product that launches needs the cloud. Every company that is investing in AI is actually really investing in cloud infrastructure, and they need people to build it. So if AI is like, let's say, the brain of modern technology, the cloud is like the body that keeps it alive. And you don't need a computer science degree to start. You don't need years of experience to start. You need to start learning cloud today. You need to build projects. You need to get certified and step into the AI-powered future, because the opportunity is real. The demand is there. The question really is if you're going to take it, or if someone that you know is going to take the opportunity, right? And now, if you're sitting here and saying, okay, I think I'm convinced, okay, right, where can I actually start in all of this? Well, or you're asking, how can I stay accountable? How do I make sure I don't get stuck? I don't know where to start. I think that's exactly why programs like Cloud Booster exist and this webinar exists. So, and these are some of the results of Cloud Booster that I checked myself, that I want to, show to everyone. So, and these are some of their results, because these results speak for themselves. 80% certification pass rate. That means four out of 5 students who go through Cloud Booster program actually come out certified. That is significantly higher than industry average. And then 60% of their graduates get hired within 6 months, not a year, 6 months. And they run 8-week programs, Saturday classes, on cloud. I mean, it's not just theory. I wish I actually had this when I was studying out, right? Because it's like a structure, the practical, and designed to help you get job ready by the time you're done. And I should actually mention that I think when I checked the website, it looks like the next cohort enrollment ends tomorrow. So if this is something you are interested in, I think tonight is probably the time to reach out to someone or get on it. So a guided path definitely beats trying to figure all of these that I've spoken tonight, trying to figure it just by yourself alone, because I wish I actually had something like this myself. So thank you so much, guys, for having me. That is the end of my talk tonight. I hope you're able to learn it. Too, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and while we do the Q&A, and yeah, I'll hand over to Ife if we have some questions for me to quickly go through them. Thank you.
Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. I believe that this has been an amazing session. And if it's truly an amazing session, can I really get our reaction? Can I get our reaction? Because this is really so amazing, like so impactful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for that. Thank you so much, Olushola, for that. It was really comprehensive and straight to the point. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, yes. So moving on to the Q&A part, question and answer. We have some questions here before we get on to another session for tonight. Okay, somebody's asking, okay, I think
someone in the chat says, what about the 8-week program? Is someone from Cloud Booster coming to speak about it? Okay, very soon. Okay.
Yes, we'll come to that. Yeah, but we have some question here in the Slido. So someone is asking, when AI automating, okay, with AI automating so many jobs, how do I know cloud DevOps won't also be replaced by AI in the next few years? Is it really a safe career move? Also, I'm just going to merge it so that we can take more because of our time. Then this person is also asking, if AI is so powerful, why can't companies just use AI tools to manage their cloud systems instead of hiring people? So the first one is basically saying that with AI automating so many jobs, how do I know cloud DevOps won't also be replaced by AI in the next few years?
Okay, let me... Okay, I was trying to stop presenting. Cool. How do I know AI DevOps? Well, you can't know. That's the truth, right? Because no one knows tomorrow. That's That's the truth. But I think what I would say is my main message tonight was trying to shift your focus to say that everything AI runs on an infrastructure, and that infrastructure runs in the cloud. Definitely, we've seen like different roles in terms of different things getting automated. AWS has something called AWS DevOps Agent and all of that. But if we get carried away with what's happening in the AI world and people are losing jobs, then some jobs are getting automated. Absolutely, that's the truth. But there's a bigger opportunity here that people are probably not thinking about in terms of cloud. And the bigger opportunity is that everything people are built, and I work, so I'm not saying this with head knowledge. I work at AWS. I work with, a cloud provider that so many customers are coming, even NVIDIA, Apple, OpenAI. We are partnering with these guys for them to run their GPUs on AWS cloud. So basically, where the opportunity lies is the infrastructure layer, basically, if you think about it. That no matter what AI chips you have, no matter how AI advancement goes, as the advancement goes up, the demand for chips, the demand for models, everything is going up, right? But I think what we need to also think about is that the demand for the infrastructure layer, which is the cloud, also goes up. Of course, it might then make us think that, okay, how do I want to think about, okay, the way I'm doing my work or some of the things I'm doing? But definitely, you will still need the cloud to run AI models. So some of the jobs might get automated, some things might get automated, but if you know how to do your DevOps, do your pipelines and all of this, you would definitely think about the infrastructure layer and be able to think, okay, how can I help all these companies that want to run their GPUs and all of that, or maybe AWS and Azure? How do I want to help them? So definitely the demand is there, but does anyone knows tomorrow? No one knows tomorrow. But as of right now, companies are really putting a lot of money into building their cloud infrastructure layer, and I think this is really the right time. And I'm not saying you could just check how much AWS is spending on infrastructure alone this year, and you will see what I'm saying, right? I can't remember the next question actually.
I'm going to take that. So the next
Okay.
question says, if AI is so powerful, why can't companies just use AI tools to manage their cloud systems instead of hiring people?
I mean, I think there's so many ways to think about this, right? Because there is still some limitations in the advancement of AI, and that is why. And I'm not saying this with head knowledge. For the past 2 weeks, I have sat down with Cloud Code myself and did so many things with it. You can't believe and you can't imagine. But as much as I build with it and do so many things, you could still see that, okay, there are still some limitation. And that's why all these companies will say, please fact check whatever this model tells you, it's not on us if anything happens to you. So there's a lot of advancement, but also there's a lot of guardrails that we need to put to AI, which means that companies cannot just say, oh, let AI agent just run our thing. I mean, if the internet is down today, so many things will happen to a lot. I mean, everyone will probably get affected. So there's a lot of advancement going on, but we are not at that moment yet where AI can basically automate everything and run everything. There will still be some production failures, different things we go on in production, and you want to watch Netflix one day to just be rolling and say it's not bad. So I think at the moment we are not there yet to just automate everything using AI. And if you build and use AI every time, you understand what I'm saying, because there's still some limitations. Sometimes you have to prompt it and reprompt it and reprompt it. Of course, there's advancement going on, but right now, I don't think companies are there yet in terms of, oh, let's just automate everything with AI. Data centers can't be automated, by the way. They are physical. there are physical data centers somewhere in the world, right? You can automate some things in that way. Oh, let me do this, let me do that. But actually, the cloud itself can't be automated because it has to sit in the data centers. People has to like deploy storage. They need to deploy their compute and their database and all of these things. So I really hope that answered the question. I think the more you play with AI, the more you still see that, okay, there's still a lot of growth. There's still a long way that we need to go to be able to do some things with it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so the next question says, what does career progression actually look like in cloud DevOps? Can I realistically grow from junior to senior level, or do people hit a ceiling?
So I mean, the way I think about this question is more personal, right? Because I'm very optimistic about life. There's no ceiling for me. but that's the personal mindset, right? So and if you and by saying that there's no ceiling for me, it doesn't also mean that I'll be in that same role or in that same job forever, right? It means that I'm also thinking of, okay, how can I add to my skill? Oh, what's happening right now? What's the skill that people are learning? What's the job of the future? And then adding to my skill. So I would just tell the person that asked that question that be open to number one, upskilling, and then career mobility. That could be pivoting if you feel like, okay, I'm just doing the same thing every day. I'm not really enjoying this. And like I think one of my slides, I mentioned about the fact that once you learn cloud and you know cloud, there's so many roles and so many things that you can fit into. And that's the beauty of the cloud environments, right? You could be a DevOps engineer, you could be a cloud engineer, you could be a solutions architect like myself. You could even say, okay, you know what, I don't want to do technical thing. Let me just be an account manager, a technical account manager, building relationship with customers, or let me be an infrastructure engineer. So I think the foundational basics of cloud is the most important thing. But in terms of mobility, there's a lot of career mobility. There's a lot of progression that you can be. I mean, tomorrow I can wake up and say I want to be an AI engineer, and you be like really from cloud? Yes, from cloud, because that cloud basics already give me like the foundational basics and fundamentals that I need to build anything on top of it. So I think if you have the right basics, the right foundation that Cloud Booster is giving out in their program, and then the cloud, in terms of career mobility, then it's easier to move up. It's easier to move into different things. And what I would say is that you also need to, of course, reskill and upskill based on the trajectory of technology advancement right now in this generation.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Olushola. So the final question for tonight would be, okay, so I have here, I am in the UK on a dependent visa. Yeah, I'm in the UK on a dependent visa. Can I still work in cloud DevOps role, or are there restrictions I should know about?
Definitely, you can. The fact that you have dependent visa means that you are not restricted. You can work for any company. And I'm saying that because thankfully I've gone through the journey of the old visa thing as well. So dependent visa gives you access to any role. You don't need sponsorship. That's what it means. You can work for any company. So yes, except the job is saying that you need security clearance, which most of the times requires you to be in the UK for 5 years and all of that. If it doesn't, absolutely, you can work for any company at any time in any cloud DevOps role. In fact, I think it's an advantage for you because you don't need to be asking, oh, do you have visa sponsorship for me? You are on dependent visa, get on it, learn the skill, start applying for jobs.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, Olushola. Thank you so much for your time once again. We really do not take it for granted. We're super excited to have you on this segment. Thank you so much. Okay, so right now we're going to be moving into another segment, and it's the final one basically. So please ensure that you stay with us till the end. For everyone on the call, please don't drop off at this point. It's going to be really, really straight to the point. So for those who still have some questions, question. We still have some question in the Slido link. Bemi is going to be taking that as she comes on board to talk to us very quickly. All right, so right now I'm just going to be handing over to Bemi to take over from here. Welcome, Bemi. Good to have you on the call tonight as well.
Thank you, Fair. Hi, everyone. It's always a joy to share what we're passionate about. I really want to thank Shola. Thank you so much. I really love the slides. So comprehensive, so true to exactly what we have in the industry right now. That's the beauty of being connected to the Cloud Booster community, right? All the people who come to talk to you are experts in their field. So Olushola is telling you from what he's doing at work. I'm going to be sharing it to you from what I experienced in the workplace as well. So it's really a joy. So yeah, I'll go straight to the questions. And yeah, please feel free to connect with Shola on LinkedIn. He's so passionate about solutions architects, and he doesn't have a background in tech. By the way, we went to uni together, so I know he didn't study anything computer science related, and he's all into the solutions architects world, and that can also be used. So let me start with your questions. So I go straight to it. Please don't forget, if you have any questions, put it in the slide so that we don't forget. I want to start with the question on the AI loop, right? Can't Cloud DevOps do AI, and all of that? It's a very valid question, but just like Shola said, there are some things that humans cannot do. Many of us, there are some things that humans that you can't really replace with AI. Many of us know that AI systems hallucinate, right? The thing about being in the world of cloud computing and DevOps, infrastructure is the main thing that AI relies on from the world of cloud. And even in the DevOps space as well, the thing about how we operate as Cloud DevOps engineers is that we do a lot of infrastructure automation. And the danger of that is that any wrong line of code can actually delete your entire infrastructure. These are guardrails that still require human inputs. You can develop an AI system and then all in the name of automate and all of that, your infrastructure is gone because there's no guardrails, right, that you've put in place to ensure that. So there's still limitations with AI, and that's why cloud will continue to break. See, as the AI runs, like Shola has said it really well, AI runs on the cloud, and we need cloud professionals to power the revolution of AI. We need humans to ensure that AI does not go overboard with the things that we need it to do. So we use AI where AI is needed, and we definitely will still require humans, things like hallucination, things like ensuring that your infrastructure does not go out of place. Compliance is a huge one as well, and many other things. So anyway, let me go straight to the other questions. Shola has done justice to that, and I'm really excited about all the things that he shared. Someone is saying that what's the difference between learning cloud skills now versus waiting a year or two to see how AI develops? Am I rushing into it? You can never go wrong even if you learn it now. I don't know what stage you are in your career, but any knowledge you have now is adding to you and is making you more valuable in the marketplace. Why wait for later when you can learn something else? So anything you can learn, I will encourage you to learn it now. But if you give more context into your stage of life, maybe you're in secondary school and you're thinking you don't want to get a job, and that can also help me provide a greater level of detail. But there's nothing wrong with beginning to position yourself now, no matter what, even if you're a teenager, right? I work with teenagers in my workplace, people that are 12 years younger than me, many years younger than me, and we sometimes even do the same task, because these days age is no longer a barrier. It's about people that have the right skills. What does career progression look like? Okay, Shola has already covered this. Honestly, there's so many opportunities that you can explore in the cloud space. I've been in this field for over 8 years now. Like, it's been from one job to another. So you can start out as a junior architect. From there, you start out, you're a mid architect, the next thing, or you can start out as an engineer or an architect. There are many different career paths. And then you move into mid-level where they can use the word senior for you, senior DevOps engineer. That was me like 4 years ago. Senior DevOps engineer, where you have the opportunity to mentor people, and then you move on to being a manager, right? I'm currently a cloud DevOps manager, where you have, you're managing people, you're managing delivery projects. You can become a solutions architect. Sometimes you become a principal architect, or you can become a senior manager where you're managing managers. In my field, which is majorly consulting, after that you can become a director, still a technical director. It depends on what industry you're in, but there's so much. director, managing director, partner, depending on your field, but there is so much to explore. And even if you decide to be a subject matter expert, you don't want to manage people, you can grow in the vastness of the skills that you can use and the vastness of knowledge you have in terms of different cloud platforms. And then that just continues to increase your rank, increase your knowledge. So there's a lot to do. There's no hitting any ceiling. There's so much. Technology is so vast. There's so much to explore. There's a lot for you to explore. You know, someone is saying, I'm an international student finishing my degree in the UK soon. Should I focus on getting cloud certified before I graduate, or it's too late? It's not too late. Please go ahead. Before you graduate, you can do your cloud certification. You can enhance your cloud skills so that as you're graduating, you're getting a job. Someone says I'm on a dependent visa. We've covered that. The difference between cloud and DevOps. And do I need to learn both, or can I just focus on one to get started? You need, so basically, I mean, if you've joined our webinars before, we've talked about this extensively, but I'll just summarize. The world of cloud computing basically has to do with renting infrastructure from a global cloud provider instead of organizations owning their infrastructure. A very simple example is Google Drive, right? For you as an end user, if you're using Google Drive, you store a file on Google Drive. That file is no more on your laptop. So what that means is that anytime you have access to internet, you can find your Google file. You can find that file on your Google Drive, even if you're in Australia or you're in China. That's basically an elementary way to explain cloud computing. There's a lot to it, but that's what we saw. An organization like Netflix leverages cloud computing. They don't own their own servers. They rent their servers from a cloud provider, which is AWS in this scenario. So DevOps is an integration of development and operations, right? And what DevOps engineers do is to ensure that development processes in an organization and operations processes work together very smoothly. Okay, and there are lots of tools that were enabled. I'll show you in my presentation shortly. So usually you can actually learn. I would recommend that before you go into the world of DevOps, it's always good for you to learn cloud first. We have different pathways. We have a 0 to cloud pathway, which is for 8 weeks. We have our advanced DevOps pathway, which is for another 8 weeks, and I will show you shortly. So you can actually decide which path you want to go, or you can decide to choose one, but we recommend that you have a combination of both. Can I work remotely as the cloud DevOps engineer, or do most companies require you to be in the office? I need flexibility for family reasons. Do you know that there are people that have actually come to us simply because of flexibility, and they've been able to hit that goal? So yes, you can, and that's one of the perks of being here. What are the steps to get certified and scale up? Also, which accreditation institution would you? Okay, I can see Mandip's comments. Don't worry, that's well noted. What steps are you? What are the steps to get certified and scale up? Also, which accreditation institution would you recommend to register with? So, if you're coming into the world of cloud computing for the very first time, we recommend that you get started with one cloud provider. And just like Shola has said, we usually recommend AWS because AWS is easy to learn. And once you learn AWS, you can learn other cloud providers. Now, the solutions, the certifications to get when you're getting started, which we guide you on our Cloud Booster, is your AWS Solutions Architect Associate. So that's the global certification that that's the minimum that you should, if you want to be a cloud architect. There is cloud practitioner, but we recommend solutions architects for you to get started. Okay, so what makes Cloud Booster program different from other cloud training programs? Why should I choose you over cheaper options like YouTube and Udemy? I love this question all the time, and I would explain to you in my presentation shortly why Cloud Booster, but the summary is that what you get from us is completely different from what you get from other programs online, and I'll come to that. Just give me a moment. What kind of support do you offer? I'll cover that shortly as well. We do help with job preparation. I'll show you all that we offer in a glance. Everyone keeps asking me for UK experience, even though I'm qualified. Does Cloud DevOps have the same problem, or is it easier to break in? This is another problem that Cloud Booster solves if you choose to train with us. So I'll come to that shortly. Can I study while working full-time? I can't afford to quit my job to go back to school. How many hours do I need to come in realistically? Don't worry, our program is designed for people who are busy like you. And I'll share with you about our program shortly. For people that have already learned cloud and are looking for opportunity, how do you stay on top to continue momentum while waiting for openings? What I would encourage you to do is to continue working on projects. Don't let your skills remain static. Your skills must be improving. There are so many. There are 12 AWS certifications. There are many DevOps certifications. So even with us at Cloud Booster, we have our graduates, some of them that are still waiting to get them. I tell them, go for the next certification. Some of them have gotten their jobs already. Even while they are on their roles, we still encourage them, keep doing certifications. So there's so many. So the key thing is to make sure that you're working on projects and you're continuing your certification. I have a cloud practitioner certificate. I attempted the AWS Solutions Architect last year, but I discovered I'm lacking the fundamental. What's the advice? Give yourself a bit more time. And secondly, familiarize yourself with the actual practical AWS experience. That's the thing. Because for cloud practitioner, you learn the foundation of cloud. But the thing is, for you to actually understand and appreciate the concept in the AWS Solutions Architect exam, you need to have logged into the AWS console and familiarize yourself so that you can visualize the concept they're talking about. I mean, I did my recertification recently, so I'm telling you straight from my head. So, and that's one of the things that Cloud Booster helps with as well, which I'll talk about shortly. Okay, in terms of affordability, we have installment payment. So let me just tell you what Cloud Booster offers, because every other question would actually, every other question you guys are asking, this would be able to answer it. And if you still have questions afterwards, please feel free to ask. So what's the next step for you? Just like Shola has said, we talk about the importance of AI, cloud computing, and all of these beautiful things. But if you don't have a pathway that you can follow afterwards, then what's the point of all of these conversations? So the next step for you is to come on board with us at Cloud Booster, and I'll tell you why and what we have to offer you and the investment you're going to make for that step. So at Cloud Booster, we have 4 intensive pathways for you that would help you navigate your journey to becoming a cloud DevOps professional. Each of these pathways are 8 weeks each. So we have the cloud computing pathway. Someone was saying, can I do cloud alone? Yes, you can. You know, we have the advanced DevOps pathway. We have the platform engineer pathway. And then we also have the site reliability engineer pathway. Now, for each of those 4 pathways, it takes 8 weeks each for you to actually navigate each of those pathways. And we recommend that you do a minimum of 16 weeks with us. And I will share with you that, the details of that. But whether you're starting your journey, you don't know anything about cloud, you're just getting started on your journey, this is where you start from. You start from cloud computing alone, 8 weeks. After that, you move on to your advanced DevOps, which is another 8 weeks. After that, you can decide to move on to platform engineer, which we recommend, for another 8 weeks. And then afterwards, you can decide to move on to site reliability engineer for another 8 weeks. So your journey is going to be a total of 32 weeks. That's the comprehensive, you want the full package from Cloud Booster. But that being said, you can actually decide to do just 8 weeks to get started, or you can decide to do a minimum of 16 weeks. That's what we recommend, so that you can achieve your dream role. Okay, so for the minimum of 16 weeks, we have our 0 to Cloud DevOps pathway. So that means that you're combining cloud computing for 8 weeks, the concept I explained, and then you're combining it with some advanced DevOps concepts. So all of this will take you 16 weeks. Now, for your cloud computing pathway, what would you be able to do after the 8 weeks? The first thing is that you'll be able to understand AWS as a cloud deployment platform and also explore real-life case studies. See, the beautiful thing about learning with us at Cloud Booster, from day one, we're starting a new cohort tomorrow. So, take advantage. I have a special discount at the end, by the way. I'm taking it slowly since you guys want me to talk slowly. I'm taking it slowly, so just bear with me. Give me another 5 to 10 minutes, and then you understand all that you have to offer and a special discount at the end. Okay, so in 8 weeks of being on the cloud computing pathway, you actually understand AWS. So for someone who is asking that, I'm trying to do my cloud solutions architect, I don't understand it. From day one at Cloud Booster, as you're coming into class, you're creating your AWS. Tomorrow, the labs are ready. You're going to create your AWS accounts. You're going to set up your billing. You're going to understand how to protect your AWS account from hackers, identity and access management, and then your knowledge continues to build up from there. Within this 8 weeks, you're going to learn how to build scalable cloud architectures on AWS. and also Microsoft Azure. We introduced it to a little bit of Microsoft Azure because we noticed that Microsoft Azure is also coming up very fast in the industry. So you will get to understand various AWS services and real life use cases. Again, you're going to learn basic programming language. You remember the funny thing is that Shola came up with the slides, and we did our slides independently, and he's guiding you as to what you need to navigate this journey, and that's exactly what we offer. So you will understand basic programming languages. You need a bit of programming in the world of cloud, but you can learn it from scratch, and that's what we do at Cloud Booster. So we're going to teach you Python, and we're going to teach you Linux. And then you also learn to use Git and GitHub for source code management. It's a very essential skill for you as a cloud architect. And with this knowledge, you'll be able to land roles like cloud engineer roles, junior solutions architect role, of which the average salary is between 30,000 to 50,000 pounds, depending on how good you are, your negotiation skills and all of that. So people that are looking for sponsorship opportunities, or you're in the UK, you're looking for a job that will pay you well, Cloud Computing Pathway can get you there in 8 weeks. Yes, it is possible. It is very intense. I will not lie to you. At the end of this 8 weeks, you're going to have a solid project that will test all your skills. And there are other additional things that we do for you in Cloud Booster, which I'll come to shortly. So are we good with the Cloud Computing Pathway? Give me a thumbs up if you understand what you will get from our Cloud Computing Pathway. Give me a thumbs up. All right, amazing. I always like to get feedback, so I'm also adjusting to you guys' feedback. Cool. So secondly, if you decide to enroll in the Advanced DevOps Pathway, this can be for people who already have a cloud experience, maybe from a different learning platform, or you've come to us, you've done 8 weeks with us, and you want to build up on your knowledge. So this is where we have the Advanced DevOps Pathway. This one lasts for another 8 weeks. So for the Advanced DevOps Pathway, this is where you get to understand CI/CD deployment. That means continuous integration and continuous deployment using tools like GitHub Actions and Jenkins. Found that these tools that we teach you at Cloud Booster are tools that are relevant in the industry, because we are practicing Cloud DevOps engineers. We know what is relevant, and see, every time we see that your tool is no longer relevant, we remove it from our curriculum and we replace it. Very important. So you also get to learn containerization using Docker. You get to learn container orchestration with Kubernetes as well. You get to work on advanced projects with core DevOps tools. And for this pathway, combining it with the Cloud Computing Pathway, this is where you'll be able to access roles like Cloud DevOps Engineer roles. You see, and for those kind of roles, the average salary is between 40,000 to 95,000 pounds. Again, depending on many factors. Bear in mind, this is when you combine your advanced DevOps pathway with the Cloud Computing Pathway. So that's the recommended one if you're learning from scratch, and that takes 16 weeks for you to go through. Okay, are we good with the Advanced DevOps Pathway? Give me a thumbs up if you understand what I've said so far. Are we together? That's for the Advanced DevOps Pathway. Now, moving on from that, if you already have, this one is for people that already have a DevOps knowledge. You cannot say that you want to go straight into our platform engineer pathway. We need to make sure that you have the right foundation. So if you can prove to us that you have the right foundation that you can build on, then we can enroll you for the DevOps Pro, for the DevOps Pro package. So this is where you learn platform engineer pathway for another 8 weeks, and the site reliability engineer pathway for another 8 weeks. See, the world of cloud computing and DevOps is very vast, and we broke it down in this way so that you can identify what you want to do and then just leverage, put all your energy in that particular direction. Okay, and then your skills are very targeted at the beginning, and then you can build up on it over time. So that's the reason why we've broken it down this way. So for the platform engineer pathway, which is another 8 weeks, so some people can decide, some of you have enrolled already and you've decided that you're going to do the 4 pathways, right? Some of you are saying 3 pathways, some of you are saying 2. Minimum recommendation is 2 pathways. So for the platform engineer pathway, right, again, building up on the fact that you've done your first 2 pathways. So here you learn to design internal multi-cloud platforms. This is where you learn to this is where you understand infrastructure as code using tools like CloudFormation and Terraform. So these are tools that you use to automate infrastructure. What Shola was talking about, AI runs on the cloud. You need a powerful infrastructure to power the cloud, to power AI. And this is where I was saying that, see, any mistake in your infrastructure as code can delete your entire infrastructure. AI can hallucinate, create wrong infrastructure as code, and then your production environment can get deleted. These are areas where AI can go wrong, where human input is extremely important and very relevant in these days that we live in. So here you understand configuration management using tools like Ansible. You also learn deeper levels of CI/CD pipelines using Microsoft Azure, and then you can become a cloud platform engineer. Some people have finished with us at Cloud Booster, learned comprehensive tools like we've spoken about, and they've gotten jobs as cloud platform engineer. Again, the salary range is between 40,000 to 95,000 pounds, just like the advanced, if you learn advanced, okay? And then we also now have the SRE pathway, Site Reliability Engineer pathway. This is also another very critical part of DevOps. Here you're going to learn scripting tools in a greater depth. So when I was talking about cloud, I said you need a little bit of programming. Here you need to really understand Linux very well. You need to understand Bash very well, right? And that's what we teach you. We teach you advanced monitoring tools as well, and observability tools, Prometheus, Grafana, use all of this. So the thing about site reliability engineers, they are the ones that are responsible for ensuring that your cloud environment never goes down. So site reliability really comes in after the entire infrastructure is set. That's why it's the final pathway, because it leverages on your understanding of different tools. You've built your infrastructure, you've combined Jenkins with Ansible, with so many things, and then we now have monitoring as a layer, as the icing on top of it. So monitoring and observability tools guide you to know, okay, which platform is going down, which servers are not working well, which virtual machines are not working well. So again, with this knowledge, you're able to get high impact SRE and DevSecOps roles. And this one, another beautiful thing about this SRE pathway is that it has security as well. So this is where you really get into the meat of DevSecOps, right? Where you ensure that security is really ingrained into your DevOps systems. So again, you can actually learn that pathway as well. So this is my final slide, and I'm going to just go into more questions if you have. So how does Cloud Booster now get you? I've told you about 4 different pathways, and I've told you that my recommendation is for you to start with Zero to Cloud DevOps. That's you combining the cloud computing pathway and the advanced DevOps pathway. But for some of you who are already in the tech field, some of those tools that I mentioned may make sense to you. You can decide that I just want to do the platform engineer pathway. You can do that. It's just one pathway. You can do site, but you need to have the right background. Very important. So finally, let me just show you a full picture of why Cloud Booster. Why should you enroll for Cloud Booster instead of other alternatives, like somebody rightly said in the questions? So there are 12 major things that you get from Cloud Booster that is very different. The first one is structured learning by industry experts. So because we're in an information age, all of those pathways I spoke about, if you put it in Google or ChatGPT or something can come out. And then you have an overwhelming amount of information, right, that you need to know about being a site reliability engineer, about being a cloud engineer. I give you an example. If you're learning AWS for the first time, do you know that AWS has over 200 services? So even if you go online and somebody tells you that they want to introduce you to the world of AWS, how do you know which of those 200 services are most relevant for the kind of role that you want? So what we've done at Cloud Booster is to distill the right knowledge based on our industry experience, based on what we that are developing the curriculum, we're working as cloud DevOps professionals, based on what we have seen that is relevant. There is a minimum. You don't need to know all 200 services to get started, but you need to know some of those services. So where Cloud Booster comes in is that we put a structure around the minimum that you need to know to land your first role. So you don't need to learn everything about all these different pathways I just spoke about. So that structure is there. You're coming to class every Saturday with us at Cloud Booster. you're learning 9 to 5. The probability of you completing the program is extremely high. I'm sure that many of you can bear me witness that you've done an online course that you were so gingered to get started. You started the course, but you didn't finish because there was no structure around your learning. With us at Cloud Booster, you're coming to class every Saturday. You have to come to class. It's a commitment. 9 to 5, we're teaching you in a virtual live class. You're going to do practical every Saturday in class. That leads me to the second point. Every time you come to class on Saturday, we have bespoke lab sessions. As you're learning about storing data on the cloud, you're logging into the cloud platform, AWS, and you're building that storage. It's practical. The purpose of you learning this is to get a job. So there's nothing theory about what we're doing. So you're going to learn exactly how to apply that knowledge in a lab session immediately. And after each of those 8 weeks pathways, you actually have a project waiting for you. And there are other things I'll talk about. So bespoke lab sessions every Saturday. You can't get that in an online course, right? Because you have to be in class. And then we have facilitators who are qualified, competent, certified professionals who are assisting you. If there's any problem with what you're learning, they guide you right there and then. Moving on to the third point, you're learning just what is relevant, right? We've looked at what is in the industry and we tailor our curriculum based on what is relevant in the industry now in this moment in time. If tomorrow a tool is no longer relevant, it's out of our curriculum and we replace it with what is relevant. The fourth point is you have access to industry experts. I mean, look at Olushola today. You have people like, these are our lecturers at Cloud Booster. People like us, we're working in different countries. We have people in South Africa, Netherlands, America, from different parts of the world. These are the people that are teaching you from what they are doing in the industry. So you have access to industry experts. Number 5, motivation and accountability, right? You have to finish the course. If we don't see you in class on Saturday, we're calling you, we're asking, where are you? You committed to this program, you have to finish it. So you have to, in fact, from orientation, I'm already preparing for our orientation tomorrow. I usually make our students commit. You have to say it verbally, you're going to finish. And it's not just about saying it, we're tracking you every step of the way. At the end of every month, you're getting a report. We're showing you areas where you need to improve on, areas that if you continue at this rate, you won't be able to land your dream job at that time that you've planned. So you have an accountability partner. Some of our graduates are on the call. You can speak to them about this. So this is very important. Number 6, we have weekly drop-in sessions. Again, you can't get it from a regular online course. Most times you do an online course, nobody's checking in on you, If you're stuck during the week, you can schedule a call with us. We have a Wednesday check-in session. We noticed that Wednesday check-in, some people are at work on Wednesday. For the person that is busy, our program is designed for busy people. That's why the classes are on Saturday 9 to 5. If you can't make Saturday, you can watch the replay on Sunday, but we don't do anything on Sunday. Our classes last from 9 a.m. to around 4 p.m. UK time every Saturday only. So you have Sunday to catch up, rest, and then go to work Monday, Friday. So weekly drop-in sessions, we do it on Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Some people said, work for them. We just say, book a timing with us during the week if you have any problems. Well, I heard so much. At the heart of what we designed is really people that are ready to help you navigate this journey. You have group projects you're working on, number 7. At the end of every 8 weeks, solid industry standard project. These are things that forms your curriculum. For the person that was asking, I don't have UK work experience, that's what we give you at Cloud Booster. After your time with us, we put together your CV, and all of that is your UK work experience. We're a registered company in the UK. We built our credibility over the last 5 years, and you can say that you have been with us. We can we can testify to your, to your knowledge and skills, and that becomes your leverage, your UK, which is such a big deal. You're learning soft skills along the way. If you notice, in this global world, nobody cares about your technical skills alone. They want to know how you can integrate in a team. That's why we give you teamwork. It's not just about you knowing that DevOps tool. Can you work in a team effectively? We give you work experience, right? Number 9, number 10, we provide career support. Yes, we help you do your CV. We give you guidelines on how your CV should be, your LinkedIn profile. We guide you on what to do. We review it. We do interview simulation sessions. And this even continues even after you have finished your program. Ultimately, we are not done with you until you get your job, and you can ask the alumni community. We also have introduced that internship opportunity, guaranteed internship opportunity. As long as you meet the criteria, you've completed all your labs, all your assignments, you've successfully finished the program, we enroll you into an internship opportunity where you work on live environments. Again, all of this is adding to your UK work experience. And then finally, we also have alumni support. You have access to all your training materials until you no longer need the access, right? And then we keep supporting you until you get your dream job. All of this, you don't need to have a background in tech. You don't need to have a background in anything related to this. Just come and join us, okay? From you, we need you to have a good computer and be very comfortable with the general use of a computer. We need you to be ready to devote extra hours for study and practice outside of class. Somebody said that, how many hours do I need to learn? Apart from Saturday class, I'll recommend you plan to devote at least 6 extra hours flexible during the week, because you need to go over the modules again, and you need to also do your assignments. So you can do that very early in the morning. If you're working 9 to 5, you can wake up early. You want to transition, you have to be able to give it what it takes. So you may need to wake up 5 to 7 and then do your assignments, invest that time, or you can do it late in the evening, but you have to put extra hours. And I make this clear at the beginning, it's an intense program. You want to transition, you want to take advantage of all the opportunities that are available in this field. You have to be able to give you, and that's the final point, be passionate about this transition and be ready to give you all it takes. I can assure you it's going to be rewarding. So we want you to invest this 16 weeks into life-changing career. Instead of being stuck, I studied mechanical engineering. I tried to get jobs in the field. It didn't work for me. I decided to transition. I'm enjoying my life as a cloud DevOps professional, and I want you to enjoy. We have many people who have gone through our program and they've excelled. I still had a chat with Benga earlier today. I don't know if he's on the call, right? And every time I think about it, I'm so excited. We have to see these people went through our programs, they've landed their dream jobs, and that can be you also. We have Olumide as well, finished his training with us, landed his dream job. Adiola, busy mom, hadn't been in work for many years, right? She did our training program and she landed her dream job. So our Zero to Cloud DevOps pathway for 16 weeks. Each pathway costs £1,500. And then the total is £3,000. But again, I have a special discount for you at the end. If you want to do the DevOps Pro, that also is £1,500 for each pathway, total of £3,000 for your 16 weeks. If you want to do all of the pathways with us, total of £6,000 for the 32 weeks. But we have a special discount. You guys stay till the end. I saw some of you were dropping off. Some of you were dropping and coming back. But you stay till the end, so you have access to the special discount that I have. And this one expires on Tuesday. Classes actually start on Saturday. But I noticed that some people have reached out to us. Salary comes in next week and all of that. That's why we're making this adjustment. So you can still join us within the next couple of days, but we don't want you to miss out so much. So you can make a commitment today. This special discount, you're only going to pay £2,000 for the 16 weeks you're going to be with us. And this is, see, this program, getting it for being with us for 16 weeks, plus all the support that you would get, is significantly more value than the investment you're making, right? Is more, significantly more value. I mean, if you stay in a global, you know, if you're in the UK, just do the calculation. Imagine doing a program 9 to 5 every Saturday for 16 weeks, plus alumni support, plus CV review, plus so many things. People will charge you individually for all of this. The classes are online. It's fully virtual, fully remote. You can join from anywhere. We've had students from Australia, different parts, Canada, America, people from all over the world join us, okay? So you can take advantage of this highly discounted rate. And we have installments and payment plans are available as well. So what you need to do is to reach out to any of our program advisors. The links will be in the chat box. Send Cloud Booster special discount, that's CSD, to any of those numbers. If you want to do 2 pathways, you can get it for £2,000. If you want to do our 4 pathways, you can get it for just £3,600. And all you need to do, if you're ready to make payments, please go ahead and scan the QR code to make a payment now. Or if you want to still speak to one of our program advisors, again, scan any of these 2 QR codes to speak to them. They'll be able to guide you more. Like I said, there are installment payment plans available. And we cannot wait to have you. You know, some of you are already our students. You're joining us tomorrow. I can't wait to see you in class tomorrow for your orientation and your very first lectures. And for those of you who are still trying to make a decision, make sure you make a decision ASAP. The discounts last till Tuesday. Speak to one of our program advisors to lock down the discounts, and then you can still join the cohort up until early next week. So, but we're kicking off on Saturday officially. So, if you can make it to class on Saturday, please feel free. Make sure that you're in class on Saturday. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys asked for a slow pace, so I had to break everything down. Yes, Bolariwa, we can't wait to have you. I think Bolariwa has enrolled already. So, yeah, I can't wait to have you. And thank you so much, everyone, for staying up until this point. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and then I'll check if there are other questions. But the thing is, the reason why I had to go through the presentation, it answered a lot of questions you guys have already. So I'm just going to go straight into any other questions that may not have been covered. So I'm currently a law student, and I would like to know if learning cloud will be beneficial or appropriate for my field. These days, you need to just think about, okay, where do you want to be? One area that quickly comes to mind, I hope you know there's a lot of governance when it comes to cloud. I remember there was someone that actually enrolled in our channel and said, you know what, I don't want to transition. I just want to become cloud conversant, because she manages a lot of governance around technology. So the thing about cloud is that there's still a lot of policies that actually guide our cloud operations. So for example, even though we're saying that cloud, you're building your systems on somebody else's computer, we need to know where that computer, that server that AWS is providing, we need to know where it is located, because of GDPR laws. So there are compliance rules that actually guide how we use technology. Same thing with AI. There is a lot that has to do with governance, compliance. So if you want to go into areas like that, please feel free to come and learn cloud. You can either add it to your law knowledge, or if you want to transition, by all means, there are opportunities available. But these days, you can actually infuse technology in your field if you don't want to transition. Okay, someone says, amazing presentation. Thank you for all the values shared. I smiled when I saw the cost fee. Is there an opportunity for scholarship or largely subsidized fee? There are payment plans available. Just reach out to one of our program advisors and we'll be able to guide you. Trust me, this is highly, highly discounted. There's no one that has done our training that has not seen the value. Somebody last week actually said that you guys' training is so cheap, because I've seen, I mean, paraphrasing what they said, I don't know if the person is on the call. The person was like, are you sure you guys will give me the value that you're saying? Because I've seen courses like this that are 8,000 to 12,000 pounds. And I always talk about, if you go abroad to do your master's program, you know how much you're going to spend. And you may even do a master's in a course that will not directly be linked to such a huge potential in the marketplace. I know how much I paid for my master's abroad many years ago, and I couldn't get a job in that field. But you are learning from the perspective of, I know that there are opportunities, you know, so which is a huge factor. So, but reach out to us. Let's see how we can help you with payment plans that are available. As a data engineer, what's the benefit of this training for me? Being I was a data engineer, one of the people I showed you know, his success story, studied data, was trying to get a job within data. He couldn't get it until he did cloud. And then because he was able to add cloud and DevOps to his data knowledge, he was able to get a job within as a cloud data engineer, and a sponsored job, doing really well. Like I said, I had a chat with him earlier today. I was just all excited thinking about his journey. So you can definitely benefit from this as a data engineer from that sense, or transitioning. It could be an enhancer. I had a software developer reach out to me. She was trying to get a job in UK. She was like, I see all the jobs I'm seeing are cloud and DevOps related. I don't know if she's also on the call. You know, I think I need to learn cloud and DevOps skills. So the world of tech, and these are everything we've shared today. These are things that you can research. Everything that Shola shared, go ahead and feel free to research it. You'll find the answers that you need. But make a decision on time, okay? Oh yeah, Ayo is here. I'm glad you joined the call. So anyway, yeah, reach out to us. Please reach out to us. We're starting tomorrow. The train is moving. By April, you will have finished your first cloud computing pathway. And you know, by June, you will have been done with the 16 weeks. But if you don't take an action today, you're still going to have the same skills you have. You're still going to have the same dissatisfaction. Most people that come to us are people that are dissatisfied with their current job. So that same dissatisfaction will not go away just because time has passed. You have to make a decision that will move you onto a path that is going to move you in the direction of the goals that you want to achieve. So imagine by June, by middle of the year, you've already finished the program. And we're positioning you for, some people actually even get jobs before they finish with us. Some people shortly after. Some people may take a bit longer, but ultimately you end up landing your dream job. And we're here to support you no matter how long you're with us for. So just dedicate this 2026, first half of the year. Let me get this knowledge and let me continue building up on it. Let me work on my CV, interview simulation. We guide you with all you need. All you need to do is to make that investment. Okay. Thank you for listening till the end. And I hope that I'll see you in class tomorrow. I've answered all the questions I've seen. It's been a long evening. I know it's Friday, so you want to rest. Thank you for listening. Every other question will be answered by our program advisor. So please feel free to reach out to them. They will guide you. Payment plan, how we can spread out the payments, all of those details. Thank you. I can see your claps. I'm encouraged. Thank you. Anyway, it's not about me really. It's about you. It's about you, your potential, what you can achieve. Some people come to us because of underemployment. Most people here are probably working. So it's not a matter of trying to get a job. It's about getting a job that would meet your needs, that will maximize your potential. Most of you know that you can do more. You've moved to, some of you have moved, you've jackpot, you've moved to Canada, you've moved to UK. You didn't move to all these countries just so that you can be, so that you can settle for less. No. And it's until you challenge yourself to do something different, nothing is going to change. When I moved to the UK, I was doing all sorts of jobs, but I knew that I wasn't going to remain there. So you have to make a bold decision, make that investment today, and we'll see you in class tomorrow. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bye, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye.